Hello everyone. In this video, let's discuss how to write a program to find binary tree zigzag level order traversal. Given the root of a binary tree, return the zigzag level order traversal of its nodes values. That is from left to right, then right to left for the next level and alternate between. Here they have given an example. So here let's take an example of binary tree 3, 9, 20, 15 and 7. So when I perform zigzag level order traversal, in the first level I have to print from left to right. So 3 will be printed. In the second level I have to print from right to left. 20 and 9 should be printed. Okay. In the next level I should print 15 and 7. That is from left to right. So 15 and 7 is the output. So this is the question. Let's take the second example. Here I have only one element in my binary tree. So that one has to be printed. If the root is empty, I have to return an empty list. Now let's discuss the logic of the question. So this question can be solved with the help of a level order traversal. So when we go for level order traversal, if the level is an even number, that is level 0 will start. If the level is an even number, I'll print from left to right, and if level is an odd number, I'll print from right to left. So to solve this question, we have to know how to perform level order traversal of binary tree. So if you are not aware how level order traversal works, I have given the level order traversal of binary tree video link in the description. Kindly watch that so that will be helpful for you to solve this particular piece of question. Fine. Anyway, I'll explain the complete level order traversal, but still I would suggest you to go and watch the video which is given in the description, then solve this question. Okay, fine. Now we have to perform level order traversal. When the level is an even number, that is we are starting with 0, we have to print from left to right, and the level is an odd number, we have to print from right to left. So that only one modifications we have to do to perform zigzag level order traversal. Fine. First I have to define a method. So here let's take a method public. This has to return me a 2D list. So I'll give the return type as list. I'm going to store only integer value. Then I have to give the name of the method as zigzag level order. I'll give zigzag, that's fine. Here I have to pass only one argument, that is tree no root. Okay. So in this method, first what I'm going to do is I have to return a 2D list. For that we'll declare a list. That is 2D list. List. I'm going to store only integer value. Fine. I'll give the list name as result equal to new linked list. Fine. Now I have to check the base condition. If root is equal to null, I have to return an empty list. So check if root is equal to null, I have to return an empty list. So return result. Fine. If root is not equal to null, which means we have to perform level order traversal. So to perform level order traversal, we need queue. So I'll take queue. In queue, I'm going to store only the address of the node. So I'll give tree node. Queue equal to new list. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the root value inside my queue. So queue dot add root. So I'll be taking a queue now. Okay. Queue. I have to insert the root. What is my root value? 100. So 100 will be inserted inside my queue. Fine. After this, what I have to do is I have to find this 100 is on which level. So that is 0th level, right? I'll take a variable. I'll declare the level. Int level equal to 0. So this is the 0th level. Now I have to take a while loop and I have to say whether my queue is not empty. So queue dot is empty. If the queue is not empty, okay, what I have to do? I have to find the size of the queue first. Why am I finding the size of the queue? To find the total number of nodes which is present in that particular level. So int size is equal to queue dot size. So this helps us to know totally how many elements are present inside the particular level. So I have to take a for loop and I have to start iterating that many times to iterate the number of nodes in that particular level. Before which I'll be taking a 1D list to store the particular levels nodes value. So list, I'll give the name of the list as current equal to new linked list. Fine. Now we have to take a loop. The reason for taking a loop is to iterate the nodes which is present at particular level. So int I equal to 0, I less than size I plus plus. So when I go inside, I am finding the first node in that particular level. So whenever we are iterating, what I have to do, first I have to pop the front element of the queue. That element should be stored in an object. So here I am going to take an object called node. Okay. So here I am going to take an object called node. Okay. So here tree node is equal to, I have to pop. So I'll take queue dot poll. What does the method poll do in the sense? It will pop the front element of the queue that will be stored in an object called node. So the front element of the queue is 100, that will be popped and that will be stored in the node, in the object node. Okay. After that, what I have to do? I have to take the left child address that has to be added in the queue and the right child address should be added inside the queue. So before adding, I have to check whether the left child and right child is not equal to null. So for that, if node.left is not equal to null, I have to insert it inside my queue. So queue.add node.left. Similarly, the next condition is right child I have to check. If node.right is not equal to null, I have to add right child inside my queue. So when I check left child is not equal to null, so I'll take 200 and I'll be inserting inside my queue, and right child is also not equal to null, I'll be inserting inside my queue. After this, I have to check whether this level falls under even or odd, because if it is even level, I have to insert from left to right. If it is from odd level, I have to insert from right to left. For that, I have to check if level modulus 2 equal to 0. So here level is 0, 0 modulus 2 is equal to 0. Condition is true. If the condition is true, I have to insert it in the list called current. So current.add node.val. So I'm going to take a list. Okay. So in the list current, I have to add the nodes value. What is the nodes value? 3. 3 will be added. Done. After adding, what I have to do? If the condition is true, this will be done. If the condition is false, what I have to do? I have to add from right to left, right? So current dot all the elements has to be inserted in the beginning. So if the level is even, all the elements should be inserted at the end. So for example, in this case, the first element 3 I'll insert. Now I have to insert this from right to left. So I'll go here, this will be inserted 9. So 9 will be first. And the next element when I try to insert, I have to insert at the beginning. So 20 will be inserted. Now when I see this, this will be from right to left. Okay, when I go to even level, I'll be inserting 5 first, then, sorry, I have made a mistake. 15, 7. 15, 7 will take. So this is an even level, so which is level number 2. So it is an even level. I'll be inserting from at the end. So 15 will be inserted first, then 7 will be inserted. So end I'll insert. This, whenever you are inserting element at the end, it looks from left to right. Whenever you are inserting element in the beginning, it looks from right to left. So that is why I'll be checking whether the level is odd or even. So if the level is even, insert the element at the end of the list. If the level is odd, insert the element at the beginning of the list. So that this looks from left to right and right to left. So here on the, we have to insert the beginning. So give the index value. On the index value 0, I have to insert node.val. That's all. After this, what I have to do? I have to close the for loop. So once after iterating all the elements of that particular level, I have to insert the list current inside my 2D list, because we have to return a 2D list, right? So for that, res dot result dot add current. After adding this, level value has to be incremented. level value will be incremented. Finally, I'll close the for loop and I'll return the result. Return the result. That's all. Okay, so here what I have done, after inserting this, I go for next iteration. I have completed all the elements of this particular level. This has to be inserted. Where I have to insert, that has to be inserted into the 2D list result. So I'll take a 2D list here. So result, this is a 2D list. Let's take 2D list. Okay. So in the 2D list, first I am going to insert the value called 3. 3 will be inserted. After inserting, I'll go for the next iteration of my while loop. So when I go for the next iteration of my while loop, what I have to do? Finally, I'll close the method. Okay. Now I'll go for the next iteration of my while loop. When I go for next iteration of my while loop, check whether the queue is not empty. Yes, queue is not empty. First, I have to find the size of the queue. The size of the queue is 2, which means I have 2 elements inside the next level. So I'll take an object called list called current. Okay, there is an empty list. Now what I have to do? I have to iterate for 2 times. So when I go for the first iteration, I'll pop the front element of the queue 200. That should be stored in an object called node. After this, I have to check whether left child not equal to null. So for the object 200, so this is null. Left child also equal to null and right child also equal to null. So none of the nodes will be inserted into the queue. After that, what I have to do? Check whether this level is odd or even. This level is odd because level value is 1 now. Let's take level value now. Now level value is 1, which is an odd number. So what I have to do here is level value is 1. So in this point of time, this if condition becomes false, I'll go to else part. In the else part, what I'm going to do is on the index value 0. So this is the list called the current. On the index value 0, I have to insert the first node's value, that is 9 will be inserted. Then I'll go for the next iteration of my for loop. When I go to the next iteration of my for loop, I have to pop the front element of the queue. So 300 will be popped. That will be stored in an object called node. After storing, check whether node.left is equal to null. So this over. Now I am standing on this one. So this is having address called 500. This is having an address called 600. I'll consider. Okay. So now check node.left is not equal to null. Yes, that is not equal to null. That will be inserted inside my queue. And node.right is also not equal to null. That will be inserted inside my queue. After this, check whether level modulus 2 is equal to 0. No, because level value is 1. So I'll not go into the if condition. I'll go for else part. On the index value 0, I have to insert the node's value. So this is the index value 0. Here I have to insert 20. Node's value is 20. 20 will be inserted, which means the 9 which is present in the index value 0 will be moved to the index value 1. 2 iterations got over. After the completion of this for loop, current has to be inserted into the result, that is 2D list. So now current is having 2 elements in a list, which is a 1D list that has to be added as a 2D list. Now what happened in the sense? 20 and 9 will be added as a list. 20 and 9 will be added as a list. Okay. So this is a 1D list. This is one element. I can represent like this. Yeah. So 20 and 9. This will be added as a one element. Okay. Here 3 is from left to right. Then 20 and 9 is from right to left. In the next level, I have to print 15 and 7. So I'll go for the next iteration of my loop. When I go for the next iteration of my loop, queue is not empty. If the queue is not empty, first I have to find size of the queue. Size of the queue is 20, which means I have to iterate for 2 times. 2 elements are present in the next level. So I'll take the list called the current. Fine. After this, I have to iterate the loop for 2 times. So first time when I'm iterating, pop the front element of the queue 500. Store it in an object called node. After that, check left child is not equal to null. Actually, it is equal to null. Check right child is not equal to null. That is also equal to null. So none of the elements will be inserted inside my queue. Check whether level is after the previous iteration, level will be incremented. Now level will be 2. So 2 modulus 2 equal to 0. Yes, this is an even level. At that point of time, I have to insert the node's value. So 15 will be inserted. Fine. Just add. Here we are adding at the end. Then I will go for next iteration of my for loop. What I have to do, pop the front element of the queue. Store it in an object called node. And then check whether node.left equal to null. Node.left not equal to null, condition becomes false. Here node.right also not equal to null, condition becomes false. Now check whether level value is an even level. Yes, it is an even level. Add the element at the end of the list. So I have to add 7 at the end of the list. because it is an even level. After this, what I have to do? I have to add the list current inside the 2D list. So this current should be added inside the 2D list, and then I have to increment the level value. So here 15 and 7 should be added in the 2D list. So this becomes 15 and 7. That's all. This is a 2D list. So this is a list which we have to return. After this, what happened? Level value will be incremented. Then I'll go for the next iteration of my while loop. Actually, queue is empty. I'll come out of the while loop. After coming out of the while loop, what I have to do? That's all. We have to return the 2D list. This result has to be written 3, 29, 15, 7. 3, 29, 57. This is the logic of the program. Now let's try to implement it as a program. So first thing, I have to declare a 2D list. List of list. I'm going to store an integer value. I'm going to give the name of the list is result new linked list. Fine. So I have to write the base condition. If root is equal to null, return the empty list. So return result. Afterwards, I have to take a queue. I have to store the address. So I'll give tree node. Name of the queue is queue. I'll give equal to new linked list. Done. Now I have to add the root value inside my queue. So queue dot add root. After this, I'll declare the variable level. I'll initialize the value as 0. Now I have to check whether my queue is not empty. So queue dot is, if the queue is not empty, I have to go inside. I have to find the size of the queue. The reason why we are finding, to know the total number of elements which is present in that particular level. So queue dot size. Now I'll take a for loop. I have to iterate for that many times. Int I equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. Now what I'm going to do is, I have to, before which I have to declare a 1D list. So list integer current equal to new linked list. Fine. First, what I have to do, I have to pop the front element of the queue. That should be stored in an object. So node is equal to queue dot poll. So what does the poll method do? It will pop the front element of the queue, and that will return the value. After popping, I have to check whether left to child is not equal to null. So node dot left not equal to null. If that is not equal to null, add it in my queue. Queue dot add node dot left. Similarly for right child. So if node dot right is not equal to null, I have to insert queue dot add node dot right. Afterwards, I have to check whether the level, if level modulus 2 is equal to 0. If it is an even level, I have to insert at the end. So current dot add node dot val. In case if it is an odd level, I have to insert at the beginning. So 0 comma node dot val. That's all. After the iteration of the for loop, I have to insert the 1D list into 2D list. So result dot add current. Finally, I have to increment the level because I have going to the next level. After the iteration of my while loop, I have to return the result. That's all. This is the code. Now let's run the code. Yes, it passes the test cases. Let's submit the code. Yes, it passes the test cases. That's all.